All right. Yes, yes. Welcome again to the After Hour edition of Chaos Rain Channel. As you know, I'm Chaos Rain here, and today I have my special guest, the great Liberator Amir Brown himself. But before I bring him up, if you're new to this channel, please hit the red button and hit the top bell for the notifications of uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain Channel. Also, you can now follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7, and you can add me as a friend on Facebook under the name Eric Rain. The links will be in the description of this stream/podcast. As you know, like most open mics, we'll talk pretty much about everything. And as I send more notifications for those that want to join in to discussion, um, one thing I've noticed with social media that you can be consumed and taken advantage without your knowledge of if you're not careful. So for those that are heavily, you know, spending time on social media, please be mindful of it at the end of the day. But nonetheless, let me open the mic and leave it up from the great liberator himself, Mary Brown. What's good, Mary? Can we good? Okay. As he gets mic settled, make sure y'all guys, as y'all listening in this live podcast, hit the like button. And if you do so kindly share the stream if you can. This is going to be a very good stream. So I'll leave the floor to Brown. Go ahead, Mary,
Yeah,
as I situate myself. Yeah, go ahead.
what's going on, man? How my audio sound?
That sounds good. We can hear you.
Oh,
And let me,
okay.
let me turn off some on my end so that I have no background noise. Give me a second. All right, that should be good enough. They should hear me. All good. All right.
Yeah, so
Welcome again to the stream again, Mary. You know, normally if people are not familiar, you have your own channel as well. And people know that they can follow and subscribe also. If you want to tell a little people that's listening for the first time on my channel a little bit about it, if you can.
I mean, no, we just talk about different stuff from time to time. You know, trying to kind of bring a different perspective. But one thing I did want to break the ice with real fast is why respect is so important. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm saying that is because we live in a day and a time and in an age where we're not taught the importance of respect, and everything has to be built on respect. Because the fact is that whatever you don't respect, you lose. Whatever it is, if you don't respect your health, you'll lose that. If you don't respect your money, you'll lose that. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
respect your relationships, your friendships, you lose that. And we've been taught in this modern society, not to have respect for ourselves, not to have respect for one another, not to have respect for our word, the things that we say. We're taught to be
Mm.
disrespectful. There's a culture of disrespect. This is something that's prevalent on social media. Um, with this whole gender war thing. You know what I mean? And whatever you don't respect, you lose. You know what I'm saying? So everything is built on respect. Respect is vitally important. We live in a time where the respect for men, for manhood, fatherhood isn't something that's celebrated. It isn't something that's taught. We have this thing about society now where everybody feels entitled to what they think they deserve. We don't want to have to earn anything. We have this idea, this thing where everybody wants something for nothing. Like just the past year when I've been doing my own thing with my business and entrepreneurship, what I found is that people just have a general lack of respect. They'll insult your intelligence, trying to finesse They want something for nothing. Everybody always have their hand out. The leech has two sisters, give, give, you know, and this is just where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In our current society, everybody wants something for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There is no mutual respect that's taught in general society. And it's something that's even worse amongst ourselves, amongst our people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially like when you look at children aren't taught to respect their parents. We're not taught to respect our elders. You know, it's crazy, man. And so as a consequence, you're looking at a society that's coming apart at the seams we're because of this disrespect, we're more divided. And a house divided against itself can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? See, like I hear people all the time talking about, you know, well, why this can't be free and why this gotta cost that and why this, that, and the third. But the bottom line is that I mean the way the universe is set up, nothing is free. Everything comes with a price. Everything comes with a cost, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything.
Yes.
So I understand why. Like, if I give it to you, who's gonna give it to me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything comes with a cost, man. It takes energy. It takes effort to get something. You don't get something for nothing, man. Nothing in this life is free. But you live in a society now where people are entitled.
Mm-hmm.
People are entitled, man. And they think somebody's just supposed to give them something just because they want it. Just because they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But how many of us can say we actually earned what we have? You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just kind of been like this, the thing. Like me, I personally tend to hybrid. I mean, I said hybrid to vibrate on a higher frequency, just mentally and spiritually. I try to anyway. I try to be as best of my ability to change I want to see in the world. I've tried not to defraud anyone, to demean anyone, to violate anyone, you know, to hurt anyone. You know what I mean? Trying to do what's right to the best of my ability. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not something that we put a lot of emphasis on or a lot of value on. You know what I mean? You have a lot of frauds and phonies out here just in a society masquerading as something they're not, especially in the age of social media.
Mm-hmm.
So this is part of the reason why I don't do a lot of streams, because it's like, you know, what's the point? Where do I fit in? You know what I mean? Like, just not a lot of people just aren't interested in that. I always understood it. Like, wasn't very popular. It's not the sexy conversations to have. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and you have a lot of people who, they're slaves to money. They're slaves to pleasure. That's like one of the verses in the Bible. It says, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. They love pleasure more than they love doing what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where you are in society, man. It's part of like the social de-evolution. So I'm just an avid observer of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like really even pay attention to, the whole back and forth on social media between content creators and stuff like that. You know, I'm just trying to do what I'm trying to do, and as a man who's responsible for the people, I pretty much keep my focus on those things. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that I'm putting them in a better position
Yeah.
than what I found them in, or what I had them in when I met them. You know what I mean? Or when I had them. I'm namely talking
Mary,
about
can you speak
children.
close to the mic a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit?
Uh,
All right, I can hear you better now. Much better.
Give
Yeah.
me
So
better. Well, yeah, it could be like, I'm traveling right now. I'm driving. So
okay. I just want to make sure because I want to be clear. So
could have
when
went
people,
to the spot. Am I low? Am I low?
no, you good now. Raise my volume up. That's good enough. At that tone we at, that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, I don't know. I guess that's just my opening rant. I don't know. I really don't have nothing particular to
My
talk
thing,
about.
my thing, my thing is this: because we know the climate of our people, especially in America, that right now I think our people just in their mind they have no emphasis of life. They lost all hope at the end of the day, and that's why you see them turn more to leisure and entertainment than anything else. Because they said, hell, since I'm not gonna get anything out of this life, I might as well just rock out. That's their thinking, Mary. You know, that's why when they hear things that they could probably use or apply, it makes sense for them to ignore it because let's be fair and honest. Some people don't have no self worth, and we deal with a race of people that has no self worth. They're going to turn into and go into debauchery, lewd behavior, things that is not really, I can't say stable, but something that doesn't bring nothing prosper in their life moving forward. You get
Right.
me? Stagnation
Yeah.
and staying in one spot is comfortable. You get me? People are here for comfort at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They don't want nothing
Yeah.
really tangibles, nothing really to change the outcomes of their lives.
Yeah. See,
So
because complacency is an adequate. Um, it's an adequate, uh, replacement for striving, for challenge,
mhm,
because it offers comfortability, it offers comfort, it offers convenience, it offers leisure. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are become complacent with where they are, and just in their life journey. And I think that's something that's prevalent in today's society.
mhm,
I think you have on some level you have a society that's averse to actual growth, because in order to grow you have to be challenged.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah, indeed.
so I think that has something. I think that has a lot to do with it. Um, it's easy to be complacent. You know, we
Mhm.
don't really want to challenge ourselves, and that's easier said than done. I mean, you look at it, you have every amenity and luxury at the tips of your finger in today's modern society and post-modern society. This is the same reason why we've come to not um, to value to value things over people, to value trinkets and leisure over people, over our relationships, over our friendships, over our familial ties and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's part of the reason why I value that complacency and that comfort.
Mhm.
And at a certain point, just kind of feel like you're beating a dead horse. Like, I can understand content creators who want to talk about something other than what's the norm to talk about, and they get very discouraged. I can understand why. Because I see, like, sometimes I'll get wind of another stream, and there'll be 100 some people in there watching. They ain't talking about shit.
Mhm.
Nothing like nothing that's like. I was posting about that earlier today on Facebook, just talking about the facts about the reality of the economic climate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're totally delusional. Like you look at it, like when you're looking at the middle class breakdown and that type of stuff, and this is a talking point that's become popularized in part by Kevin Samuels, who uses this talking point as to somehow bludgeon women, particularly black women, in their mating choices, I guess. Talking about what some 67% of black men are in the middle class. That's a misleading stat, number one. Then
Mhm.
number two, talking like if you look at what constitutes middle class in this society, it's an income of 40,000 a year or above. And rather than acknowledge the slap in the face that is to people, that 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 the bar is set so low to be considered middle class, we want to we want to champion that as an accomplishment. What they're not really going into is how there's a growing chasm between the upper class and the middle and lower classes. And
Mhm.
so what's happened, the middle and the lower classes have become more truncated. You see what I mean? Because the chasm between the upper class and the middle class has become so great. You see what I'm saying? So if you're in the middle class, what that means is if you're in the middle class, you're closer to being in the lower class than you are to being in the upper class. You see? So basically,
Hmm.
so
You know.
basically,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
what that means is basically if you're in a middle class, it's easier for you to go to drop in class than to go up in class because the chasm between upper class and middle class has become so great because wealth has become concentrated within the top 20%.
1%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is
when Kevin
isn't it
Samuels,
what it could compartmentalize? No.
well, I mean, it's become
Okay.
calcified in within that aristocracy, the aristocracy that runs the society. All the other classes that you would consider middle on down, these are serfdom. They exist as
Mhm.
serfdom.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So this is something that uh, Kevin Samuels either he doesn't care or just doesn't have the information to deal with it from that aspect, that standpoint. So this that rhetoric. This is why the rhetoric is dangerous, is because it's misleading. It's not telling the truth about the economic condition. You see what I'm saying? It's acting as if the fact that more black men are considered middle class portends some type of economic mobility for black men. When what it actually pretends is economic what's the word I'm looking for? Economic stagnation for white society because of the chasm that I just talked about. You see what I'm saying? So because the bar has become set so low for what constitutes middle class, more black men fit into it. You see what I'm saying? More black men are able to fit
Mhm.
into that. But the middle class exists primarily off of credit. If I guarantee if you took a poll of these black men who say they're in the middle class and you asked how many of them live check to check, it would be an overwhelming majority because the majority of Americans live check to check.
Exactly. I agree.
You see what I'm saying? But they'll call themselves middle class. But we know that the middle class is something that was created and maintained by the government. But see, what's happened is pretty soon the government won't have the economy or the economic wherewithal to no longer prop up the middle class.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? That's what's
Yeah.
going to happen. They won't. They'll like if you look at Medicaid, you look at Social Security, they're running out of money. You see what I'm saying? They're running out of money. And not only are they running out of money, what's even worse is what has been their bread and butter and has kept them ahead of the next few superpowers combined in terms of economy has been their military might. They're losing ground on that too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're losing ground on that too, man. So like you could say those things and make these arguments, but I mean that sounds good on social media. But I understand. See, the real world is a different place. The facts on the ground are a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So you're misleading these young brothers by not telling them the truth. You're not telling them the truth. The majority of people going forward in these next few generations, these people are going to either have to be shacking up with roommates or living with their spouse or partner in order to make ends meet, in order to live and subsist.
I agree.
As the prices of goods and services that America provides is going to go up because you have these emerging markets coming up now. Like you have other places in the world where these places were formerly third world countries, and now these people are going through their economic booms. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
jobs are going to be outsourced, resources are going to be outsourced by those corporations to those areas.
Mm.
So they think this is what I'm saying. They look at that as, oh man, that's money. That's all dumb shit.
Yeah, your audio's
You know
breaking
what I
up.
mean?
Can you
So they
repeat
had
that
sitting there.
sentence? Yeah, your audio
I said,
just broke up just a beat, just a bit. Repeat your whole sentence, Mary. The audio broke up a little bit.
okay.
It's like, oh shit, damn.
Oh no, man, that's boring. That's lame. It's doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? You can
Yeah,
hear me?
okay. Yeah, all right. It fixed
Oh,
itself. Yeah, continue.
yeah,
I can
like I
hear
said,
it.
I'm driving, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Continue. We'll work for it. We'll work on it. Come on. We can continue.
yeah, but like I was saying, they think what I'm saying is lame or stupid or whack. You know what I mean? But they'll see when they actually sitting at the unemployment office and they've been unemployed for
For
18
greater than 6
goddamn
months.
months. Yeah, for
Yeah.
18 months, then they're gonna be sitting there looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? But this has always been the predicament with this Negro because they pray for what they pay for what they want and beg for what they need. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot of minoring in the major and majoring in the minor. You know, um, so that's just it. And that's part like these realities are part of the reason why I said I need to get on my entrepreneurship shit so it can do something to try and mitigate the effects of it for me and mine for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, with that complacency and that content, like a lot of us are content with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's basically what happens when you're looking at those statistics. That's what those statistics mean. But they won't talk about it like that. They'll try and weaponize it. You know what I mean? And just use it for this gender war bullshit and telling half truths and talking about it in a dishonest way, not really shedding light on why the stats are saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The only reason why you see more black men in the middle class is because it's meaning less and less to be middle class because of the wealth inequality and income inequality in this
Mm-hmm. 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 One question I want to ask you, Mary, and this is an
country.
important question, because we know the money in this economy, this capitalist system we call America,
Right.
is now being consolidated more in the 1% as time progresses, decade after decade. So when we look at middle class now, is it really when they tell us this so-called middle class for Americans that they lay out on paper and say what is the median income, this and that, and so they're labeling people as middle class? That are they really just putting that just to give people the illusion that you're doing good, but really not doing good at all in America, especially depending on what state you live in? That when you calculate all the money you bring home in a month, and pay off all your bills, what you're left with. Have they been really transparent to Americans of really the reality of who's really doing good in this country? Like literally.
I mean, well, no. See, that's how you keep the shell game going. That's how you keep the game going. You know, like when you're talking about like middle class and this then that's when it gets into the first world, second world, third world nation thing because they're talking about what's the standard of living. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's the standard of living? So like the things that quantify the wealth of the society we exist in. So for example, you have access to the internet, you have access to Wi-Fi, you have streets, roads, bridges, infrastructure, you have running water, you have a power grid, you have a food supply chain, distribution supply chains that supply food to wherever you are in the society. You see what I'm saying? So, like when they're talking about middle class, that's basically what that is. Like how much access you have to the first world ideal of the society you live in. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what that is. You live in a society that's generally affluent. They're surrounded by affluence in the society.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is a great example of what I'm talking about? Like you look at Washington D.C. In Washington D.C., the White House is right there, and then a block over is Crime Alley. You see what I'm saying? Like you go right directly into the goddamn slums of Washington D.C., but it's right there by the fucking White House. This is
Mm-hmm.
how close. Like anywhere you are in a society at any given time, you're surrounded by opulence and decadence and affluence.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's the
Mm-hmm.
exact same thing. Like that's what that is. That's what that means. You know, that's what that means. And so what it is like the upper classes, they extend credit and they have this credit economy. Like people talk about FICO and my credit score. You got to realize that didn't really become the norm to the 80s, man. The FICO Corporation was created in the 80s. So the credit score became the prime thing in the 80s, man. Because
Oh.
this was at the same time when you had Nixon, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan. Like they gutted the American economy, and they used dog whistle racist politics to do it. I mean, it was Nixon who removed the gold standard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Who like when you still like, and we fall for this shit all the time. Like when you see like the conservatives and Republicans talking about the national debt and the credit card. Who the fuck you think created the shit? They did. But they'll sit there and lie and try to pretend like it was Lyndon Johnson with the Great Society legislation. It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When they got in power, they did that. They did that, man. But they'll sit there and believe that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, because we live off of, America it's a wartime economy. If you look at the expansion of wealth that took place after World War II, that was because of that. It was because of World War II. So it was because of the wealth that World War II created. That is what gave you the fucking middle class.
Mm-hmm.
There was no middle class before that. Like a lot of the housing projects and stuff that was created, who do you think it was created for? It was created for white folks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those projects.
Yeah, I believe that. I
You
believe
know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when in the wake of World War II, we had the American economy went through this great expansion. America entered its superpower, you know, superpower phase where it overshadowed and overtook Great Britain with World War II because of how they came in World War II and helped them in Nazism in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You see that's what created America's, number one, its mandate as the police of the world, and this is what created the wealth. And it was so much wealth that, yeah, the wealth did trickle down. You know what I mean? And it was this is something that was facilitated by the government in creating um, the middle class American ideal.
Mm-hmm.
That was the golden age of capitalism. But see, that time period is left. They're no longer in the golden age of capitalism in America. We're in late stage capitalism. And late stage capitalism and fascism are synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you have in today's society. So, and this is like you hear idiots like Ramil who will sit here and talk this dumb shit he be talking sometimes, like about Jeff, let that man make all that money, Jeff Bezos. But see what happens when you have a section of the society, a portion of the society, a minority of the society that hoards and controls 90 some odd percent of that society's wealth and resources, then what happens? Those people are able to fund, those people are able to bankroll agendas.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to bankroll those agendas because they have more money than all the other people fucking combined. But if you look at what's supposed to be the rule in democratic society is that the majority rule, but the majority aren't ruling. A small minority is ruling through the economy, through the money, and so
Mm-hmm.
they're able to fund these agendas that serve their interests and further their power. That's part of the problem with income and wealth inequality. And they
Mm-hmm.
give you this illusion of inclusion through capitalism. Now you one day could do it too. You could be Jeff Bezos. You could be you could be you one day could be Elon Musk selling your herbs online and you could hit it big one day and you'd be right here with us. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand like sociology and economy, man, and political science. Which these niggas understand none of that. They think they do, but they don't.
Yeah.
Like when I'm saying because they never heard it before, it sounds foreign to their ass. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't never heard it before.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what's happening in the society, man. This is what you saw with the Citizens United ruling when the Supreme Court came to that decision and that conclusion that said that money and free speech are synonymous.
This is true.
Basically shredding the Constitution. Do you understand what that means when you say that money and free speech are synonymous? If you have more money than I do, then you have more what than I do? You have more free speech than I do. And then you wonder why there's an alphabet agenda. Who the hell do you think is bankrolling?
Matter of fact, let's go in further. Who do you think funded these people and gave them certain rights? The same people that not being talked about in many streams,
But you
And we
see,
can
that's what
say,
I'm. But see, that's the exact point that I'm making.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like why is it? If you look, if even if you believe that the whole gay thing, and I'm not bashing gays. I have no like what did you do? That's on you. I don't care. But I'm just saying, if you believe that it's people are born that way and naturally occurring, even if you did believe that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter still remains that they they are a minority of the human population. They are a minority of the American population.
They're not
So why?
even six
What?
percent of the population. They're like under that, but
Right?
they
Yeah,
got
but
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like they're a minority. So if you're a minority segment of the population in the society, why do you think you should have equal representation within movie, TV, radio, any and every avenue of media? You're a minority. You're a minority of the population. You're even less of a minority than black people.
Mm-hmm.
So then, why do you wield this this dominant power over the rest of society to where now you can see. I mean, you can't. You'll be hard pressed to turn on a television show and not see that 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 minority being represented.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you see it because it's being bankrolled by Soros and these other benefactors who bankroll these leftist quack movements, man, because they have the money to do it. But that's the problem that income and wealth inequality poses to the society. The society is it's a asymmetry in the society where you have a small group controlling the entire ebb and flow of what are the social, moral, and cultural and political values of the society. That's why it's a problem.
Yes. Yes. And
You know what
the
I'm saying?
strange thing about it is, I know people don't talk about other people that are the ringleaders, the puppet masters, or wherever, like the ones that that runs YouTube. Same people that people don't talk about. And they're afraid not understand it because they have certain power because they run money. They control what you have to operate in the society, fiat currency, including credit. You know, so obviously the people that has the most rules. It's not no stranger, nothing new to this. I mean, people should already have an understanding of this.
Yeah,
And
but see, it's not supposed to be that way. Not in a democratic
I know,
society.
I
Oh,
agree, I
okay.
agree.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be. But when people are submitting their will, and I mean submitting, literally, you volunteer your own, what's the word, subjugation, systematically. You get me? Well, either you're subconsciously knowing about it or not. That beggars are not choosers. If you always have your hand out and hoping somebody's gonna give you some, then they give you what you feel you deserve. You didn't fight for it, you didn't fight for it, you didn't put nothing in skin in the game, nothing. So they give you things that in their mind they give you the scrapping, and you're gonna accept it in the society.
Mm-hmm.
So those people that's trying to jump from middle to upper to top percent, right? You have to scrape from this. And it's going to take more than somebody to get there. You have to really show and prove in the society that's run heavily under capitalism. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why when I was listening to KS stream and he talks about, he doesn't label entertainers, sports, etc., as people of actual what he want to call high value type men, because the only thing you look at them is they only have money, but everything else about their character or what they do and also is very non-existent, which I agree. But this is where our people are influenced and take likely more that these are the standards that everybody hoping to follow and attain, and they will kill themselves to attain this. You get me? Think about our children, Amiri. If you're a boy or girl and you're raised, depending on what your family structure is, one parent or whatever, you notice if you're a male, you're gonna be geared to more to entertainment and sports in this culture, in this Western Hemisphere, because it's the only way you're going to really succeed as a black person. They're not emphasizing all other things that build societies, math, science, technology, the things right there. It's not really pushed because they look at it as they don't see themselves as one of the top tiers to be the facilitators in those type of institutions that really
Right.
control communities and states, if we want to go that far.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment overall, if we look at the percentage, I doubt it's even. Let me see. I'm gonna throw a number. Less than 20% that holds his economy. You get me?
Right.
I could be wrong, but point why I'm bringing this to people's attention that it is not something that is sustainable. They put it out here for you to give them money so they could use that money for other ventures to put and exploit and use outside the world. You get me? Because it
Mm-hmm.
creates the illusion of inclusion. It gives the illusion that things are doing good, but things are doing bad and worse. And they keep you in this fancy world. You get me? To the what ifs. Because people want to dream, they always want to have fantasies, say they want to do things, accomplish things. But when you look at if you're not taking the precautionary steps, it's all a waste. You're not doing nothing else. So a lot of black people, young men and women, especially when they become adults, they find themselves stuck in the society. And some eventually might have to sell their ass from what we're seeing now. I mean, look at it. When they were talking about this one chick that got killed by a Caucasus man, And there are many stories that go into her death. But the point is that she is one of many women. They're going to have to sell some ass to attain something. It is what it is. And it's the fast way that for most women, they're going to have to get up in the society. You know? Besides the men, you can't do that. Even if you bend over and get screwed in your booty hole, right? You might get up in society, but there's no guarantee. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So your journey as a man to really come up in society is going to be different, and it's going to take more than this grunt work. You're going to have to network with other men. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get around that.
Right.
I know a lot of men don't want to hear this. Even let's say the black man's here for a sake of conversation. There are some talented men out here. I agree. But the one thing that's weakness is not a strong network to pull other men enough to make some real push in regards to really having what I like to call black media.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I don't see it, but I just don't see no steps in this.
What happened to the black? What happened to the Black Avenger?
I'll just say this. The man that created, and I did an interview with this brother back in 2019. From what I'm hearing, he sold it to another non-black man, and now it went down the shitter. But you know what? You know why he sold it? He sold it because, let's be honest, the black men that said they want their own media did not put the money to support it. It is what it is. And that's the only truth I can tell people. So when we talk about working together and consolidate your resource, whether you got little money or not, it takes numbers. It takes organization to have something. And majority of Negroes, bro, are not willing to organize for shit. You get me? Unless it's something for their own self-gratification, individualism.
Yeah, if it's pipe weekend or something like that.
Yeah. For those that's in the chat room, the link's right there. I'll pin it if you want to join the conversation. I would like other men to come in. Let's have the conversation. Yeah. So, like I said, that's the weakness we see ourselves moving forward as men so far. And I remember when Jay Shaw was having the conversation that he deals with power. His more focus on power, which a lot of young black men or men that's our age or a little older don't really see the significance of trying to attain power, because that's what secures your survival. Remember the conversation we had, Amiri, where I think if I can remember good, we talked about it's not individualism, it's something else you reference it. That's it's not something called self-preservation, it's something else you reference. Can you remember what it was?
Cooperation?
It might be. It's not preservation that is concerning. Matter of fact, you talk. I'm gonna find the audio clip because
okay. I think it was. I think it was. I said self-preservation isn't the first thought. Cooperation is, and that's true. Because self-preservation is always a group effort. You know what I'm saying? We don't even get that. That's something they tell us to get us to be individualistic about our own pursuits. You know, not realizing or ignoring that it's, you know, it's about interdependence and cooperation within a group setting, within a group of people. You know what I mean? I think that's what I was saying that night when I was having a conversation. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, I see. Oh, the real Aaron Collins. What's up, man? Yeah, this me. I still been around doing my thing. I don't know what can I said, man. I can't just ramble on and on. I'm not a good rambler. I have to, I gotta have something to talk about.
No, I'm trying to find the word that you call it. It's not self.
I think I said cooperation, didn't I?
It might be cooperation, but it's not ringing. It's something like that.
All that, man. Let's talk about these bitches, man. Let's talk about how dirty and grimy these bitches are, man. You know what I'm saying?
What
Damn
about
the dumb shit.
what about them, man?
These
Yeah,
bitches.
yeah, what's the real Aaron Collins? Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
I,
So from what I've heard, there's still one particularly loudmouth, shrill YouTuber running her damn mouth on YouTube, man.
what's good, Shadow Dreams? Shadow Star. What's good? You can hear us. Well, while he gets his mic on, you know how I am with YouTube with a lot of the females, bro. I mean, they doing content at the end of the day to make money. I'm not. Wait, hold on. Somebody wrote something. You got echo shadow. If you click on from YouTube, you gotta mute that. To Okay, I remember when me and you were on Cynthia's panel sometimes ago, Mary. Yeah, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that probably was like 3 years ago or so.
But the real Eric Collins, you could jump on. If is it the first time you see a Mary in like 3 years, bro? I didn't know it was that long, bro. I thought you were subscribed to Mary's channel.
And they sleep. They sleep on me, man. They sleep.
Listen. This is the only man I know that I'm close with on YouTube that deals with the real intellect. We gotta deal with the logic, the real insight of liberating the minds of people. And you're not gonna get the liberation of the psyche overnight. It's an ongoing process. Hell, with Negroes, you gotta be repetitive and repetitive with certain words. Cause
Yeah.
repetitive is key. Sorry, lose my word.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be just saying the same, say one thing and then just don't say. No, you got to keep saying it because a lot of people it goes one ear and goes out the other. They don't. It doesn't stay in their subconscious unless it's some fuckery. But yeah, but like I said, they're there to make money. I notice you keep up with a few females. Maybe you're not really watching like that. I sometimes watch them when I get a chance, but like I said, with certain for.
Mm-hmm.
She has to be on that path, bro, because this is where the
If
money's
they
at.
if they're cute enough, I'll watch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, but you get what I mean. Yeah.
If they're a booger wolf, I ain't watching, man. You know what I'm saying? You can get that. Let me stop playing. I'm just joking, man. I don't watch none of them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just don't want to hear it. Like if your particular choices in men have turned out to be shitty, then maybe it's just you. You know what I'm saying? maybe maybe that WAP not as wet as you think it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Hey, they say what brings the woman and brings the man to the yard. You know what I'm saying? I don't do all this stuff, but this good WAP keeps them around. I said, well,
really, seriously though, man. Like sisters need to take responsibility for their womb management, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they've gone from being some of the most demure, conservative women to being the trollops and harlots that we see today, and nobody is supposed to call them out on it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is supposed to act like their behavior is acceptable. No, hell no, man.
What's going on, fellas? Y'all hear me?
What's good?
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I just getting my mic ready to rock, man. Just checking in with y'all, man. Yeah, you right on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think black women was some of the most conservative, you know what I'm saying, classy women, especially when I was coming up in my area. And like, a lot of them would even be so conservative to the point where if you ask them to, give you some head, back in my day, that was like, man, that was a serious offense. It's like, what, you think I'm a white woman?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've talked about that, man. How this whole thing got ramped up now, and now just look at them. I mean, and it's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look because now they run to fulfill that Jezebel caricature and that stereotype about the sexually licentious, loose black woman who's only good for screwing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They think that shit cute. They think being ratchet is cute. They think that Cardi B shit is cute.
Yeah, I think it was
saying?
really solidified when you got people like our sitting senator, bless her soul. But I seen her up there with the WAP performance that she's somebody grandma, I'm sure, it was, Maxine Waters, I believe it was,
Right.
where she's kind of like what do they call it? Tacit. She's like tacitly approving of this by,
Right.
just sitting there, and in the interviews that she did, I'm like, now if your granddaughter or even your daughter, man, I say, even to do that, I don't think that you would be sitting up there agreeing with it. And it's like, are you receiving some benefits from that, or have they told you that the demographic is this and you must support it? I don't know. I don't know, because I don't see that old woman doing that, man. Rest my grandmother's soul. She would have never agreed with that, bro.
Right. Yeah. Well,
But
everything that's bad for us is that's what they peddle to us. They whatever's bad and destructive and counterproductive to our progress and upliftment, that's what they give us, and they give it to us in large doses.
Yeah, man. I think what y'all was speaking on earlier, though, like Chaos, what you had said about the power, you
mm-hmm.
know, that's very important, brother, because it's a perception now. It's a perception world. You know what I'm saying? And a person with no power, so to speak, can be given tacit power just by the social media and the views and likes and subscribers, followers. And then, well, what power do they have? A lot of them, they receive the support from the community. But as we see, the togetherness and the unity is not there along with that.
Mhm. Yeah, but like I agree, and that goes to what I was talking about earlier. Like they're not gonna see, like the dominant society has always incentivized and rewarded financially those individuals who are willing to play um, adverse actors to our betterment. You know what I mean? Like if you look at Stephen Fetchit, when he put on this persona of this buffoonish, black man, this character, but Stephen Fetchit was paid handsomely for doing that. Stephen Fetchit made a lot of money doing that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
they always going to economically incentivize that.
But
You know what I
it was
mean?
always that step and fetch it. And then I think that was to the credit of brothers like Mr. Sidney Poitier, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, James Earl, and
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby, you know what I'm saying, to an extent where they weren't stepping and fetching nothing, you know what I'm saying? They was trying to
Right.
show that fatherly, you know what I'm saying, instinct,
Mm-hmm.
and then the black togetherness, unity. They wasn't even doing them black exploitation films back then. They was like really standing on their note.
Right. No, you're right. And you know what? I said that earlier today on Facebook. I said, why is it representation matters when it comes to every leftist quack identity, but when it comes to black boys needing to see a strong, masculine black male image, that don't matter. That's toxic.
Yeah.
That's patriarchal. That's all. You see what I'm saying? All these adverse things, and then the same goddamn Negroes had the audacity to question what's wrong with black men. You know who say that? You know who like to say that all the time with a loud mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the
Yeah, it's
fact
the
is,
imagery. The imagery is so bad now. Like some of the stuff, I
mm,
can't even stand it because obviously we're older brothers. We've come from a time where we seen that the imagery was different, but it definitely wasn't like it is now. Some of the stuff I can't even stand. I wouldn't even approve of my son to even watch. I seen this. I didn't watch it, but I was just going on Prime Video and I saw that new Cinderella promo, and it made me so sick to see this. Now, Cinderella was the original story, okay, back in the days or whatever, you know what I'm saying, Disney, whatever the fuck it was. And it was a woman, and then, the royalty versus the plebs, and then the pleb was the finer girl over the royalty, and she put the shoe on. We all know the story. But why in the hell they got that dude up there in a dress, man? That there is so weird, and it's got to be a brother that they put in there like that. I said, man, that's some. I can't understand why they do that.
No, they do because remember the rule of propaganda is to feminize the man and to masculinize the woman. especially when it comes to black men. Matter of fact, I was on Clubhouse since we're talking about this. And I know it's two brothers I was listening in with my good friend Miss Letitia Underwood. And they were talking about, writing scripts and in the business, like in the industry, how it is very difficult for a man that's heterosexual to get some job placement in that sick place we call Holly Weirdo, because they're looking for men that are feminine, because they need to enroll you and put you in roles where the plays depicts the feminized black male. So it's not by coincidence, it's really by design. They
Not
can't
just in
have
Hollywood either, man. They do it too. Yeah, you're right. In Hollywood, we definitely can see it there. But in some of the more esoteric corporation jobs, especially those that are 50 to 70% female, if you look at the men who do rise, black men specifically, I'm speaking, and sometimes other races too, but specifically speaking on black men, usually the ones that can rise to middle management or above are not that masculine, alpha spirited male. You know what I'm saying? They usually get that more passive guy to be that middle management type dude. And if you the alpha type guy, you know what I'm saying, they'll let you be around for as much as you good for. But when it's time to get rid of some people, who they gonna get rid of? They're not gonna get rid of the beta, the passive dudes. They're gonna rise to middle management and then have reign over you as an alpha, and they're gonna just find a reason to get rid of you and don't have HR, which is usually 90% women. Let one complaint come in there, and man, you fighting for your life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Um, my thing is this: as a man, if you are on your square game and you are heterosexual, you should not compromise yourself by no means. No matter if you're trying to get your foot in the door in those type of industries, especially when it comes to entertainment, you definitely don't want to be putting yourself where you have to be compromising your dignity and your masculinity. Now, I know most men that do it because they need the money, okay, but by doing this, you have fully given your consent for them to continue the effeminization of the black man, not just men in general, but just the black man in general. And it's come to a point now that the men that are in entertainment now, as I look at it, the ones that are putting out the dress, being feminine in the roles, like the one I think before the billionaire said about in Candyman, the new one that just came out 2 weeks ago, or any other movie, it is evident that they have to show and put masculine on the back burner by all means. Because let's be honest, look at the environment. The environment is close to collapsing, and you can have a certain set of men that's acting like men when governments are going to fall, and there's going to be serious tyranny. You gotta feminize the male population as much as possible, because now, and we all know the deal is in warfare, men are the ones that pose war, and women are victims, and they're the more easier prey. You get me? To the real alpha male, if we want to talk about it. So you can't have too many alphas out here or actual men acting, conduct themselves like men. Because men are going to be pushed back. And you can't have that. So what's the best thing? You got to keep programming people, especially women, to show them the views of what a man is. And I'm going to agree with Red Supreme, because it's going to come to a point to a lot of black men, you got to stop listening to women talk about who's a real man. They're programmed to tell you what a man is, but they have no fucking idea, because when a man acts the way he is, it's something they don't like. So I don't really take their words serious about who the man is. That's his pipe dreams.
Right,
That's like
right. Like you said, it's
like
changing by the minute. Basically, the definition changes by the minute.
and really, you gotta understand, in warfare, words mean everything. And like how they catch a lot of people in a trick bag is by controlling what we like to call define of definitions of words. No woman could place and tell value about you of you are a man or not. That's an insult. Matter of fact, any woman that sit there tell you, it lets you know she's trying to control you in every fashion. But anyway, I have a new player. Who's this? That's Wolf. Hello, That's Wolf. Can you hear me?
Yo, what's up, Wolf?
Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah, okay, good. Go ahead. Yeah,
It's good. You know who this is. Been a while since you had one of my own clown up in here, huh? But hey, it is what it is.
I mean, it's Two Wolf. It's Two Wolf, right?
No, it's one person. I just keep changing my name every once in a while just to fuck with y'all.
All right.
Go the Wolf, yeah.
What's good, Wolf? I don't see your avatar, but anyway, welcome to Chaos Rain channel for the very first time. What do you want to add on to this open mic conversation, if you can?
Well, nothing at the moment, but I just figured just, hang back and just chill and just, with y'all, see how y'all doing. Show some support if that's okay.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Wait, I think Before Billionaires wrote something. Let me see what he wrote. All right. It's trash. Okay. The movie's trash. Okay. Thanks for telling me. Not scary. Well, my thing is this. It was a woman that directed.
No. I'm sorry. It's just that, like, somebody. I remember there used to be a cat who used to be on BJ's Hangout who used to say, "It's trash." Oh. I hope he got a trademark because you remember there used to be a cat on BJ's Hangout. He say everything was trash.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Cool cat, cool young brother.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey fam, can you think you can sing it less like James Brown and more like Joe Tex? Or maybe you do it like Rick James probably. The way he's singing it, yeah.
I don't know if he could do that.
Wait, what he said?
No, he said something about Rick James. You going to repeat that, Wolf?
I said, like, if he's gonna sing it like it's trash, I was hoping maybe he could do it more like James, less like James Brown, more like Joe Tex. If not, could he try to do it more like Rick James, because ain't nobody can hit that high note like Prince.
I see.
Rick James was telling everybody what Hollywood was about back in the days, man. You remember how Rick James used to talk about Hollywood, made a whole song about it.
Oh, I got something for Rick James. Since you mentioned it, Wolf, good thing you mentioned it. Keep talking. Let me find this little clip. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. What's that?
It's been a while since it's been a while since you had one of my own crowd up in here, but yeah, it's cool.
I found that junk. Let me do this. I got you. Play. Let me pause myself. I gotta find the part. Yeah, I'll talk.
Yeah. Hey, Shadow, what's good anyway? How you been?
Man, I'm good, bro. Just getting back from Galveston, man, on my Labor Day, dog. We caught a fucking 6-foot alligator.
Hey, I worked at Labor Day, yeah. Oh, word? Man, what happened? How'd that happen?
Man, I had some stank bait that I had left over from the last trip. And I put some shad out there. We seen them. It was like, it was yesterday we caught them. And man, dude, we caught like 2 of them. One of them broke the line, bro. We wasn't even expecting. We was trying to get some Texas Reds. And man, them damn alligator guards, for some reason, I don't know if the hurricane washed them up or whatever. But man, it was like 10 or 20 of them in the bay, man, just right there, bro. We was able to get one of them. I've been fighting with that, man. That motherfucker bit my damn hand. I cut him up good, though, man. That fish is actually some of the best tasting fish I've ever tasted. I ain't gonna lie.
You gotta be careful with those gators. They don't fuck around.
All right. This one's for you, Wolf.
And for the girl backstage. And for that girl backstage. Never mind who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Not who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
And for the girl backstage.
I appreciate that, but you
backstage. You make it perfectly clear. Never mind who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch. Clear. Never mind who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Judge.
Yeah. Listen, that was the thing that made Dave Chappelle very well known, famous back in the mid 2000s. around
Hell yeah.
2005 when he said, "I'm
Yeah,
Rick
that
James."
came after the Chappelle show. First of all,
No, that
came
was
after
a
Chappelle
war.
show.
That,
FCA.
that came out 17 years ago. And then next year, when the Dave Chappelle show, or during that same year, he started impersonating. Well, I don't know if he was impersonating already, but he used that same end mark. I'm Rick James, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
You know who
Yeah,
else
it's
used
one
that?
of the Chappelle's
You know what?
quotables, man, that'll go down in history
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
hey, I don't know if you know this, but 2006, Busta Rhymes, when he put out the album, The Big Bang. Remember he had a song which was that sampled "In the Ghetto" called "Ghetto Life." At the end of the clip, but yeah, Busta Rhymes "In the Ghetto," which is a homage to Rick James "In the Ghetto," Ghetto Life. He sampled the song. He even had the saxophone Danny in the song, but at the end of the song, he used that very audio clip from that award show. And then he took that other clip from the Chappelle show where he said, "Cocaine's a hell of a drug," which was a segue to the next song called "Cocaine." You got to keep the album to hear that. You know, I'll tell you another thing about. I remember from the Big Bang album, there was one song that he wanted on the album, but didn't make the final cut. It's called "Where's Your Money," featured ODB. This was like a year and a half after ODB passed, and ODB was his brother from another mother, and he couldn't put that on the album, but he did release it as a single. It's called "Where's Your Money." I bump that on my iPod every once in a while.
Wow. Okay.
If that doesn't show, brother, you love your brother like that, I don't know what will. Because he realized, because like he figured, by having both Rick James and ODB on his music, he's hoping, at least the family can eat. They lost their loved ones recently, and they're still reeling from that. So if that's not showing you love your brother, looking out for you can't vote. What does?
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely something, man, to look at. Because like I say, loyalty and righteousness, man, is in short supply. So yeah, I feel you, bro.
I mean, who was it? I remember, was it like when Snoop had the GNN? He had like Charlie Murphy on it, and they talked about like the Chappelle show, and Charlie explained that a lot of people thought Chappelle was making fun of Rick James, but no, he actually introduced Rick James to a new generation, and people started bumping his music and whatnot. Even though he thought he couldn't tour anymore because of the stroke, the royalty checks were probably coming in like a motherfucker because people like listen to shit, online through streaming and whatnot. This is it before, and this is like sometime after NASA got shut down and whatnot, but it brought him back to prominence.
Okay. But some older music, and I remember because Wu-Tang was to have a second season on, I think, Hulu, that I didn't really watch the first season of it, but it's telling how these few men in some parts of New York that came from where they at and made a household name during the time when Buster started to come around, Bus, and other artists of the 90s, especially real hip hop rap, especially, where it was really still popular, real popular still, before it got watered down the next decade, that, the music means something at the time, these guys didn't say, bitch, it has to mean something, there's a storytelling about it. You get me? Nowadays, when you hear these dudes,
Slick Rick was out in the art of storytelling, for example.
Yes.
One of the originators, man. Slick Rick will tell you a story, bro. Bring you from the middle to the beginning, back to the end on some Quentin Tarantino level shit in 4 minutes, man. Like, for real.
Or somebody who showed a lot of bravado and swagger and looked fashionable, like Big Daddy Kane. Cats like what's his name? Like, of course, let's not forget the battles between like the Juice Crew and Boogie Down Productions. Some of the great artists like Houdini. Who was it? I mean, you had Kumo D back in the day. You also had had Run DMC. You had other cats. Poor Righteous Teachers.
boy.
Poor Righteous Teachers. Remember,
Yeah.
Poor Righteous. I have to bring up Poor Righteous Teachers, X Clan. These guys. Why? Because before Wu Tang and Busta Rhymes, these were the first rappers from the 5%, from the 5% Nation. Think about
Facts.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Busta, who's part of Leader of the New School, Wu Tang themselves, they all belong to the 5% Nation. So it's Nas, Talib Kweli was involved, I believe, in the 5%ers. Who else was involved in the 5%ers?
Wasn't
But you
nobody
guys
from
understand where I'm
Public
coming.
Enemy in there?
I think Chuck D was a Muslim convert. It was Sunni Muslim convert, but I could be
got you.
wrong.
Okay.
But the music actually had that. There was a reason for the music. It's just that the music has been co-opted and controlled. I remember I had a talk with one of my brothers earlier in the day, because I was listening to like Prince, and we were talking about how gangster Prince was, and Prince loved hip hop. The problem was like, he couldn't, collaborate with any artist because a lot of those artists did not own the right to their own publishing. They did not own the masters. So he couldn't deal with them because he understood if he worked with them, there's going to be some legal paperwork
they was
involved
still messing with him too.
And they were going to fuck, and they were going to also, and they would fuck with him. So since they're not free, he's going to be, and though he's free, if he gets involved with them, he's going to get his shit tangled up with their shit. So royalties and everything's going to be, out the shit. That's why DMX once talked about how when he met Prince. Prince was like gangster, and he talked to him about business and shit, about the business aspect of this shit. And he realized, I need to get a hold of my masters. A lot of press. I remember going further back, like to the oldies, like going back to like the 60s, the 50s and 60s. Anybody remember a cat named Screaming Jay Hawkins?
Yeah.
No.
I Put a Spell on. He had a song called I Put a Spell on You. He used to have like a bone in his nose. Yeah.
I remember that song. I didn't know who was the originator.
Screaming Jay Hawkins. He was known for doing a lot of outrageous stuff. Cool cat though. God rest his soul. In the documentary that came out just after his death, one of his acquaintances talked about how this was like in the 50s or 60s. He talked to the folks at the record company about his royalties and whatnot, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Right, they try to curb that shit quick.
Want my royalties. And they looked at him and said, "You don't get no royalties. The only way you collect checks is when is based on how much we cut you from the record, whatever
Probably
cut you get
performances
from record
too,
sales, and performance and touring. But you don't get any royalties, no publishing, none of that, because this is back when the music was run by organized crime." And
you remember
they
what
had
Sam
a few
Cooke
people.
did?
Please
Remember
tell me.
Sam
I
Cooke?
can't remember. I don't remember. I remember
Okay,
Sam Cooke. I remember some of the songs like "Straight to My Lover's Heart."
They
Best
kind
Things
of
in Life
took.
is Free. Go ahead.
Man, he had some. Yeah, those are some of the most hottest singles. There was another one that was basically playing. If you had seen, they touched on it slightly in One Night in Miami, and they had Muhammad on there, Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, and I forgot they had someone else on there. But basically, they had told the story of it, and I didn't even know the intricacies of it. Remember back in the days, like you said, music was owned by one entity, and it was affiliated with organized crime and also other names that we shall not speak. But you know what I'm saying? He went up there similar to what you talking about with your man. Now I think Sam was a little bit earlier. And Sam was like, look, he wanted his royalties because the thing was they call it race music, right? So only certain radio stations could play race music. Being from Mississippi, I got that lesson from a guy I know in radio in Jackson years ago. He said it was race music, and a certain amount of basically, if you had so many watts, small stations would play race music. So, but the songs were so good that they wanted to play them on the white radio stations, but they couldn't play them, right? So what they would do is they would go and cover they covered a black person's song, and a million white cover artists will come out and get the full credit for the song. So Sam Cooke went in there again, was like, look, they doing my songs and they making money and they getting real radio play. Man, I want my damn money. And he eventually never fell back off of it. And that was the first time a nigga, I believe, brother started getting royalties. And he put that forth because they was using his music and he wanted a piece. So I think him and Malcolm got into it about it right before Muhammad was supposed to be converted or whatever. And he was like, you let them white folks sing your songs, you know, you're not getting the money back for the black people. And he was like, bro, I feel like you disrespected me, Malcolm, because, bro, you don't even know my story. I had to go to these people, and every time the white folks sing that song now, I get paid for it, my brother. I did that. And I was like, damn, I did not know that. I said, that's what's up, man. I said, that boy had foresight trying to get his money.
I think I can think of another example of something like that. Because I remember it was like understanding the history of Motown. Before going to Motown, I had to bring up, this whole thing about white artists covering black music. Like anybody ever heard of the Big Mama Thornton?
Name sounds familiar.
Okay, Elvis Presley took Hound Dog from her. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
I can believe it.
That was her song, and then he used it and made it a hit.
That's facts, because we all know Elvis sung that song, but we didn't know who really originally made it. They've been doing it. You're right, bro. They was covering our songs. Some of their biggest artists.
She released it on her name, and then he went and just covered it. I don't know if he knew, but he got rich off that shit. I mean, if you remember in the 60s, I remember because I remember there was this the year was 83, and I gotta give shout out to my pops because he had this on tape, but it was a 25th anniversary special for Motown. And Dick Clark, who was one of the co-hosts on the host on the show.
Was it 2001 or 2? I'm trying to remember when. Yeah.
No, this is 1983. This is 83, fam. Because remember, Motown was started 58?
Oh yeah. Motown. Yeah, you're right. I remember now. Okay.
Right, Cass, what year were you born? Cass, what year were you born?
Well, I don't want to disclose that here, but you're older than me. Let's keep that.
A lot older. What? Dude, you're not a woman. Well, come on now. Oh, what? Never mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, in it, Dick Clark. I remember when he was hosting, he did a presentation, and he explained how in those days, 1950s and 60s, colored artists, back then they were called colored artists, artists of color, whenever they wanted to put an album out, they couldn't have black faces on the cover. That would scare the white folks. Even Barry Gordy knew that. So instead they would have to use, they get creative. I mean, even Dick Clark mentioned there was a cover for one of the covers for an Isley Brothers album was a white couple out on the beach being intimate with one another.
And look, that's what they made. They made that sex music back in the day, so it fit right, but you couldn't have black people on the front of it because white people would. It wasn't until the early 60s was it sometime around the 60s when they started allowing covers of black people could be covers on the album, and this was some people who would not appear non-threatening. I mean, who feels threatened around Stevie Wonder with his blonde hair? Or Little Richard, you know what I'm saying? The same way, Little Richard, they stole all of his shit, and I ain't a big Little Richard fan, but as far as the legendary status of what he did too, and how they stole from him, it goes right to the same thing, bro. What you're saying is true.
And they ain't paid me yet. They ain't paid me yet.
Hey, really, Little Richard wanted his money, man, and I can respect that, man. You making that music back then, making
Georgia's own Little Richard. God rest his soul. He was the son of a preacher, but he was of course, a lot of people question. I mean, I remember there was the actor Leon. He portrayed him in like in a like it wasn't like in a TV movie style biopic.
Yeah.
The
And he
one that
was,
I
and he
saw
was,
was was the white guy who was like his manager or something. I think I seen that one right there, and well, man, I can't remember that guy's name, but to me, that was the best movie I ever seen, whether it was fully accurate or not. But you know, some of the stuff was accurate. You know how they narrate the shit, make it for movies. Some of the shit is false, but what was his name? Jerry Lewis. I think the name of the movie was like Jerry Lewis or something, but it was really, to me, the movie was all
You mean,
about.
is it Dennis Quaid? There was a movie by starring Dennis Quaid about Jerry Lee Lewis, and I
Yeah,
remember,
Jerry
some
Lee
of the
Lewis.
scenes
Yeah,
like what he did with Chuck when he was touring with Chuck Berry, and what he did was on one scene. It's based on an actual performance where he takes a bottle of a bottle of whatever, some hard liquor, and set the piano on fire. And he walked off stage, looked at Chuck Berry, and said, "Top that, motherfucker." That was the thing. But it is what it is, because you see nobody, like I said earlier, when they start putting Little Richard's face on certain covers, or like Stevie Wonder, or some of the acts like what was the name, Martha Reed from Martha Reed and her group, the Supremes, some of the females, because nobody was threatened by those faces.
I think the decentralization of the rights, like the rights distributors, like your ASCAP,
Mm-hmm.
your BMI, your Snowcap to a lesser extent. Some of these other overarching brands
Mm-hmm.
now are starting to use digital distribution. It's a million of them now that are doing it. DistroKid. I mean, it goes, CD Baby. It's a lot of them that do it now. I think sometimes some of them have a different payout scale and like a different percentage of what they take. Like say that's for your Spotify, YouTube, or whatever the syndication. But it's pennies on what you would have gotten had they bought the real CD. But we changed now who really buys CDs anymore. But at the same time, you do still be able to keep all of your rights for the most part. You read those contracts though, because some of those syndication people get, you got like 1,000-page contract. You better read the shit. But for the most part, you can protect your shit through ASCAP, BMI to a certain extent, and make sure that when you do get the production, you pay for the production. That way, if you're an artist and you don't make music per se, but you sing or you rap, you get your production credit for that too. So you just say you wanted to buy that from the producer. I want all rights. You know what I'm saying? I want the production right. That way you get the points.
You know what? That's an interesting point you brought up, Shattered. Does anybody remember the name? Anybody familiar with the name Martha Wash?
Marco Wash?
Martha Wash.
No, I'm not familiar, to be fair, honest. No.
Okay. All right. Is anybody familiar with the group The Weather Girls? Back in the early 80s, they had a hit song called It's Raining Men. Two large black women.
Okay.
Okay, the light-skinned one.
I remember that song. I didn't know who did it.
Yeah, I didn't know who sang it, but those one that sang a song. Okay.
All right. Now we're talking about artist rights and their rights to royalties and everything. Martha Wash comes to mind. Two occasions. Let me try to find out the name of that one group. She had dealings with two groups in particular. One was CNC Music Factory, if you guys remember them. CNC Music Factory.
Yeah, I remember CNC.
Okay, CNC Music Factory had a song called Make You Sweat, Everybody Dance Now.
Mm-hmm.
They had used her vocals, but they refused to credit her.
Haha.
She sued. Yeah. She took them. And this wasn't the first time she's had dealings with them. They had sampled. They brought her on to work on a demo and then they took her vocals without her knowledge for a group. I forgot the name of that R&B group. I'll look for it later. But they try to hide the fact that they use her vocals. And then
that's dirty
she
pool.
took him to court for
Producers will
that.
do
They
that.
settled that. And then the
Yeah,
second time they
dirty
did that
pool.
for the song, Everybody Dance Now, because if you look at the video, it's another woman lip syncing to that. And that chick is Selma Davis. Selma Davis, you hear her voice on the other hit song, things that make it go,
Right.
But they covered that up, and Martha, while she saw the video and she realized they didn't credit her, because her name, she's not mentioned, she didn't get no credit mentioned on any of
Yeah.
that shit. So she sued them.
Yeah.
She sued Sony, their producer,
Ooh.
and she settled out of court with them. But it
Oh yeah,
was
they gonna
because
get
of that.
rid
But
of that
not
quick.
just that. But not just that. There's another group. It was this Italian house group called Black Box. They used her vocals on, was it 9 of the 11 tracks on their first album, and they did the same thing, but had somebody else lip syncing to her stuff. She sued the hell out of them and the record label RCA. RCA had to settle out of court, but just to make her happy, they signed her to a multi-album record deal, and even footed the bill to her first nationwide tour, as well as giving her credits at after the fact. So she's still getting royalty checks for this, for her work with both Black Box and CNC. But CNC
You know
made
what
it
I
up to
tell
her.
these young artists, brother Wolf?
Hold on. Shattered, hold on. The end of the story goes like this. CNC, when they put out the next album, they made things right with her. They had her featured on one of their songs called "Do You Want to Get Funky." She was even in the video. So things worked out for the better on that one.
They made it right.
They made it right with her. In fact, her and Selma Davis, they were dynamite together.
Yeah, like what I tell the younger artists, man, like I get a lot of people come in my studio, usually younger, sometimes older, but the ones that are successful, they're the ones that kind of taught me the stuff. So what I try to bring what they've showed me over the years and try to teach the younger artists. And when they come in, they might want a beat or whatever. And they say, man, I say, look, I start off at $100, whatever. That's exclusive. I'll do you an exclusive beat for $100. And these young brothers I know in the hood, man, they ain't gonna charge them an arm and leg. They charge them $500 to $1,000 down the road, and they were keeping all the royalties. I'm like, look, I'm gonna sell you the whole thing. He said, well, what is the difference? I'm gonna just pay $25 to lease it from you. I said, man, look, although I love getting the credit for being a producer on everything, I still respect you as an artist. I want you to go number one and get your ass cap. Okay? Go get your ass cap first. Get your artist name. What are the 3 artist names that you want to be known by? Because ASCAP gives you that choice. So you, as an artist, you can put in your artistry. Now that's your points for artistry. It's similar to a trademark, but
that's the name trademark and everything. Okay.
It's kind of separate because you can do some shit through Library of Congress and some other shit. Now that's about, I think, $1,500 last time I checked. But that's also a way to further solidify any fuckery in these contracts, because then you're already registered. You went there before they went there. So in the court, the lawyer has more to work with. Even the contract could be made not involved, you see, because of these things. But this is where most of the new artists with 360 deals and all this stuff, and I try to explain them, because some of these young cats, they just want to listen to their music with their girl in the car, and they show their homeboys and post it on their damn Instagrams and shit. They really don't, they might do a show or two, but they're not serious. They ain't going out of town spending their money to go to these different showcases and shit. That's when I know you for real. So if I see you for real, I'm going to tell you to get that ass cap, get your artistry and your production. You might not make beats. You might not make music, but you need to buy that, because now you're going to get your full 5 points. And then what's going to happen is that you don't have to give that producer his points because you buy all your music exclusively. You know what I'm saying? So now you got that. Make sure you go and get your broadcast data solutions, BDS, because now if your shit does, let's just say you're a hot artist in the local area and you get your shit played on a DJ spin, maybe Friday night. Let's say shit hot in the club, so they forced to play it. Okay, or you can go and pay the DJ, but that's very hard when you got people that's running like Clear Channel and some different ones. iHeart, we won't say the last name. You can't, like, it's a embargo. Okay, so money is not enough sometimes. So what it is if they're forced to play it, is because you're so hot in the club surrounding you, local, they'll play you. Man, it's cool, man. My song was on the radio. Trust me, I done heard a lot of people say it and I'm like, yeah. Did you get any money off of it? Well, no, I wasn't worried about that because shit, I was just, they played me from the club. I said, yeah, I know. But
yeah,
what I'm
but
saying,
they can't think like that now in the way how music is going right now,
what
where you
broadcast
got more
data
control, you
solutions.
got more control over your music more than ever. And the problem with, I'm gonna tell a little short story. I remember some people on my side of things, they want to be artists, right? I had a conversation, sit down with one of my own people, right? Well, on my side, I told,
He's an artist.
well, it's inspiring. In other words, right?
Gotcha.
I talked to him.
All right.
I tell him this, that if you're going to do this music, you must understand business first. Master P,
That's true.
before he started doing anything, he was in college. And remember, he just now got a doctorate degree, and I think it's some business or something, I don't know what it is. But he's doctor now. But the point is this, before he started doing his thing, his solo shit, he went to school for business, and he went in the library to find how to push a product, like music, and control his royalties. He had to go find some archives. I think this is in down south where he was at when he went to school, because he knows that what's his name, Barry Gordon, and I'm said that how they control certain the royalties and stuff. Yeah, he went in and tried to find what Michael Jackson were trying to do while they were in the business to keep control some of the music. So he went and found some books on it, and he went and applied in his own music. That's why you look at the label with No Limit. It's not really under anything without him putting his money in it. You get me?
And he
So
learned
He
also
also
the
talked to
promotion.
a lawyer, you might remember.
Yeah.
He talked to a lawyer. He said that was the best 25. He acquired it. He paid like was it 25,000 just to pick his brain about something, and the lawyer told him work on a good distribution deal, because through that distribution deal, he and No Limit, they would they would get like 80 cents on the dollar. 80 cents on the dollar.
Wolf.
Yeah,
all
for sure.
the artists. Think about it.
Yeah, that was. Oh, sorry. I don't want to cut you off. That's the one. Thank you for bringing that up.
Huh?
Control the distribution. That's why he went in the library while he was in university, when he was attending school, to find out how they're able to make money off their music.
There was a lawyer who explained that to him, and then he went to school. Then he went to school about that.
Yeah, it's a distribution. That's one for these artists to understand. Yeah, you might be able to make music, but you don't control the distribution of your product. So he went and found ways, how can I control the distribution if I'm going to do this music thing? That's what he went and, because that's where the money really is at. Besides creating the songs and controlling the writing of the songs, you have to be able to control the manufacture distribution of the music.
Right, because it's business at the end of the day. So imagine if you had the deal for the mass production of your shit, you wasn't outsourcing it, the label wasn't doing it. And that's where I was going to. It ties into what I was saying earlier with broadcast data solutions. That's the other part of where the artists do get their shit played on the radio, but they're not there with their royalties and their distribution, and also their likeness with their royalties. You have to have BDS, because what BDS was doing, I don't know if they've merged or anything now. I haven't been on there in a while, but that was one of the main ones where they actually count the spins on the radio for you, and they assess the royalty checks and whatever mechanicals that you get from that, depending on what points you own it, and they pay you out. And it's like I think they could do an album at that time. It's probably gone up now, inflation, but an album was like $150, and then a lifetime they had a deal going where you could just spend $300 or $500, and whatever you put out, whatever your name is spoken or your song is played, they'll detect it on any radio station anywhere, including satellite radio, and will access your royalties to you. That was just straight radio. This a lot more before the internet distribution became so prevalent, and but they also now do digital. So like I said, those people BDS was another one, and I figured that if I was able to give the young brothers some of that, because what they're gonna do they're gonna give you the check when you go down there to the damn people, to the label. They're gonna give you that check. Now, when you sign that damn thing, if you ain't already got your ass cap, if you ain't already got your distribution, if you ain't already got this shit set up, these promoters, all this shit, Master P, like you were saying, he did the damn research beforehand. So he knew, and he talked to that lawyer, he knew what not to sign and how he was going to orchestrate his shit. Probably had the lawyer write it up properly. So when he went, they had to give it to P because he came correct. And see, but the point was, what I was taking it to was, think about it like this, that distribution. Remember, I'm going to give you another good one who made some millions and millions of dollars distribution. 6 Mafia. Specifically, DJ Paul and Juicy J. Okay? So, if you remember, when Lil White came out, okay, I just show this example. They've been using Selecto Hits. They had Selecto Hits, which was an independent distributor in Memphis. Okay? So instead of them going through with Loud, I think Loud got ate up eventually by Sony. Sony ate Loud. So they was on Loud at first, but then all the little posse albums, the underground tapes, and these different artists that they had in the camp, they would release a lot of their shit through Selecto Hits. So what Paul figured out, this was at the days of $20 and $15 CDs, which Master P and 360, they was being able to sell, and Cash Money was being able to sell them amounts. But now, let's say you sign with Universal and you move 5 million units with this artist. I think Paul was saying he was basically getting like almost 50 cents to it. He said if you was getting $1 in them days off each disc, you was making some money, because most other people was like 50 cent, quarter. I think Jay-Z even had said some specific things on that. Well, what Paul did was he said, well, we just gonna make it where we doing all the in-house production, we doing the in-house audio, we doing in-house promotion, he had the tapes and shit at the damn the store. So he was like, we could just make them ourselves, get the best deal, put them in the store. How much could we make? He's like, all right, on a $15 CD, you're making like $10 or $9. Now, if you move 1 million of those tapes, which you can only get from his distributor legally, Selecto Hits at the time, then you can sell a true 500,000 units and then get your money $9 times 500,000. You feel me? Okay. Fully. And that was how they was able to circumvent some of the stuff, because notice some of their albums didn't come out on Sony because they was holding out, because they was waiting for the big money. After the Oscar, they gave them the damn show. And even in there, you see the Sony executive coming over there. They even tried to shop Lil White to Sony. They didn't want to pick him up. You know what I'm saying? And then they was like, well, why would we give you that? And you going to give us $1 a disc or some bullshit distribution and ringtone deal? Well, we can just sell his shit in Memphis, sell 500,000 damn copies and get $9 a fucking CD. I said, damn, that's fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk, man.
They understand the nature of the business. I mean, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna bring up something really relevant to all this, and you're not gonna believe where the source of this information came from for me. Like we always talking about, like everybody. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I hear you perfectly.
Okay. Like we have this talk about like contracts and whatnot, or making record deals and whatnot.
Yeah.
I remember there was an article I remember read. It was a short article. It was in the Source. It was in the Source magazine. October 2000 edition, to be exact. You had Wyclef on the cover with the 2 machetes that said "War and Peace." And in that article, it gave artists points on what they need to know before signing contracts. Talking about the importance. It was a short article. It brought out the bulletin points. Like one was talking about length, or the length of the contract, or the length of commitment. 2 was talking about talking to getting competent representatives, because some people like had bad management and bad lawyer advice and whatnot. 3 was also looking at the details of the contract. Yeah. look into the details of the contract, like who's going to be footing the most of the costs for the productions of each album and whatnot. How much is somebody getting paid up front? Number 4 was also don't always take the first deal, because a lot of them were like acting desperate and shit. Like they thought this was their only shot at trying to get you on a major label.
And what they do all the time. They do this all the time. They take the first deal. So it sounds like a sweet deal. And if you remember the movie Welcome to Compton, that scene with Ice Cube when it said the Jewish
Straight Outta Compton?
Yeah, Straight Outta Compton. Yeah, gave him a deal or the label or whatever. He looked at it and said he didn't sign a deal because he knows it's not a fair, good deal. You get me?
Yeah.
And that was back in the 80s. Actually, that was back in the end of the 80s, going to the 90s. So let's be honest. When it comes to money, and this is why I know where we fall short as people, that we'll take anything on the table because it's quick money. And say, if I don't get this, there's no other great opportunity. And that's a lie. There's always going to be a better opportunity, a better deal.
I remember, what was it? Lil Zane if you guys remember a rapper named Lil Zane, I think was he? Yeah, Lil Zane. He talked about how he kind of looked at the record label and looked at them like, dude, I just pushed, was it 5 million units already, and you guys are saying I still owe you 5 million on my contract? What are you talking about?
Oh wow. Did not know that.
He talked about, he mentioned something like that. He pushed a certain number of record labels, and because you don't really make money on the first album. You don't really make money on the first album.
You could, but see, like you were saying, they make you sign this deal where they already have producers who's got a gate, like a gate producer. Like I would hate to use my brother now, I love his shit, but Timbaland. Like, so when we offer you people like Timbaland, like, well, we want you on the first album, like you were saying, to get Timbaland. And Timbaland costs 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, whatever, and you got to pay him that price. But I'm like, hold on, man, we got a budget of what? Hey, man, my boy down the street makes some fire ass beats. I love Timbo, but we're going to have to wait on Timbo because, I don't need to blow this 50 racks. What they would do is they would, instead of the production people who was trying to get you to sign a deal or the label to tell you, hey, why don't you get your ASCAP and get your BDS and SoundScan and shit before you come fuck with us. No, they're going to say, yeah. And like you said, the desperatism, you're desperate. You want to say, oh, damn, they're going to be juicing you up too, man. Yeah, especially if you got a little heat on you.
Plus, they banking on the fact that you don't know shit.
So when you sign that deal, in that contract, they're going to say, don't worry about it. We're going to handle everything. So I actually see it from the production side because I've been dealing with ASCAP for years after my people put me on them. And I start to see, and then some of these distribution websites, when you load your shit up, you can see it where you can actually put in other people's, like say an artist that you got in your label or outside of your label, a song. You can put their shit on there and get royalties from their shit. So basically, I wouldn't be able to do that if you own your own shit. For you. I would own your shit now. So I would tell them is before they sign any deal, own your ASCAP, own your BDS. Go ahead, bro.
Excuse me, Shad. I got a question for you because you got some of these online websites where people can just like upload their music and such.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with some of them, like SoundCloud or Reverb?
Yeah, I've got some stuff. Because
I'll give you Nation. Yeah, I've got I've got some stuff on Reverb Nation.
I used to be with SoundClick. SoundClick was before all of them.
Yeah,
it was
SoundCloud. I remember because SoundCloud. I can give you the best example. Anybody familiar with the female singer Georgia Smith from the UK?
What she sings?
She sings mostly like blues, jazz, contemporary stuff.
Okay.
She had a song called Blue Lights back in like 2015. That's how she got it. It was exposure on SoundCloud.
You said Georgia Blue?
Georgia Smith.
Georgia Smith. I'm just going to look it up right quick.
Georgia Smith. Light-skinned chick. She's British. She kind of like supposedly played Drake and shit.
Oh damn, she fine, a motherfucker.
Yeah, she's half white, half Jamaican.
You got a picture of her? You want to share the screen?
I've seen her wilt with her long hair, or when she had a short or crop blonde and shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's like in her 20s, you know. She's like a second half millennial, young Gen Z.
Okay.
She's fine, but she's from the North Midlands and whatnot. So when you hear her talk, she's like, you know, but she's like down to earth. But she sings mostly like jazz, soul music. But I remember she got her break. She got her break through SoundCloud. Another chick I remember who also got her break, who got her break through SoundCloud, is a woman named Mabel McVeigh. She's anybody familiar with the name Nene Cherry?
I had to YouTube it to find that song.
Nene Cherry, she had a song called 7 Seconds back in the day, or she had a song called Big Big Girl in a Big Big World. Well, her daughter is Mabel McVeigh, and she also got big through SoundCloud and whatnot, and then she started touring on her own. Half black, she's like biracial, Swedish, English.
I see.
So yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people are trying to get, like, there's some cats I know from other parts of the world. They try to put their music out through these things and they just perform
Spotify,
whenever they can because.
Yeah. I think that's
now,
the best
now Spotify is now allowing people to stream their stuff online. Before there was just established artists could get on. Before they opened it up, and then people could open a Spotify account.
I think they may have got in league with some of these cell phone.
There was another one called Audio Mac. Audio Mac, I remember they were doing the same thing.
Well,
it was one that's
you mentioned Spotify. They made a deal with Joe Rogan, so they're using him.
Yeah, I remember.
Every time when you see
a video just for him,
you see
put up a video.
Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is the most popular podcast right now on the internet. So
he's the most well-known podcaster. But another person I know who's also big on podcasting is Dan Carlin. He does Hardcore History, but there's also another for podcasts. There's also another streaming site. It's called Stitcher, which I'm on. And of course, everybody is on iPod. Everybody's on iPods, you know. Yeah. So through iMusic, or was it iMusic? You know, you can get your iPods through there, your podcast through there.
Yeah, I seen a lot of people using Anchor. They tried to get me to get on the Anchor. I never messed with. I created an account, but I never did do anything with it. But I've seen some people podcasters using that one.
Has anybody ever listened to? Have anybody ever tried to use Tidal?
I never heard of it. Yeah, there's some new things.
No, I ain't messing with Tidal. It was like a Jay-Z thing.
Wait. You don't know Tidal until now, Chaos?
Shit,
you've never heard of Tidal?
I'm doing things, man. I don't know everything, bro. I be on the internet, but I'm not like this looking for these things. I'll tell you.
I didn't mess with the Jay-Z Tidal because I didn't know what it was.
Wolf. Before I started doing content on YouTube, I got in touch with BMT because I was going through little struggles doing this YouTube thing, right? And
BMT?
Yeah, BMT.
I don't follow.
So I was like getting outcome. So I had a conversation with BMT offline, and he referenced me to Anchor to start putting what I do on here on Anchor, which I have done, and I might start doing more of the shows I done on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on the Anchor back with you too. I need to check it.
One thing, because remember, this is more dealing with visuals. This platform, I'm more of a podcast. Like, you know, I sit down, we have audio. Talk.
You're more audio than visual. Okay.
Yeah, because with visuals, you have to be very careful because there's now a lot of things, copyrights and stuff with visuals now. With audio, you don't have.
Oh, absolutely. And especially nowadays you got some people using copyright copyright infringement laws on YouTube because they're trying to like dox people.
I mean, well, that too.
Since 2015. Yeah, since 2015, like, cause like certain groups, not mentioning them, so like they've been using the like copyright laws to somewhat like compel the content creator to like dox themselves, and then they try to find that person, try to, I don't know, target them and shit like that.
Yeah,
especially very sensitive content.
To be honest with you, is
so people so content creator safety is important.
My thing when a person has to go that way, depending on whoever the person is very low, but they could do that because, let's be honest, most of that invest the time to go out the way to find who the person really is. They have no time on their hands. Matter of fact, they're not doing anything constructive with themselves in their lives. Because let's be honest, what benefit? Okay, we know who this person is. Now what? You want people to stop supporting? You want them to do something? It's a form of cowardness. You get me?
No, I'm talking about like chaos. I'm also talking about like, there's some certain people with very extremist leanings.
Okay.
And you put out things that criticize them, they will try to use copyright laws to try to like, they put copyright strikes on you, and then you have to, when you go through the process to challenge the copyright strike with YouTube, you have to give them your name information, the appeal thing. Yeah, when you try to use the appeal thing, they can try to gain access to that appeal and then try to stalk you and dox you, and then maybe you can end up being harmed, especially certain people who do not tolerate those kinds of criticisms. Someone who kind of, you know what I mean? Well, without going into detail.
My thing is this. They could continue doing that as long as YouTube still entertains a lot of content creators on their platform. But where YouTube is going right now, because every 4 quarters or even going to they change the terms of service, because they tighten up how much you could do on their platform, because they want to be completely commercialized, so they could be competing like Hulu and Netflix and all these other outlets. See, people don't understand the time you spend on YouTube. If you're trying to build your brand, you should be building your brand constructively and as hard as possible. Doing all this necessary stupid doxing and all this stupid shit, and find that you're the one doing it, which is always revealed that most people do it. They reveal themselves. You hurt yourself and your brand, because let's be honest, YouTube knows what's going on here, and they're constantly keeping a dossier on a lot of people's content on YouTube. And if they find that you're doing this, what thing they do once they really tighten up, if you're not making a certain amount of money with them, they could easily remove your content, your channel altogether, and you can't come back on their user platform again. Because they're not gonna bring you the the eyeballs necessary to grow your shit again, unless you're paying them heavy price. And trust me, it's gonna eventually get expensive, because a lot of people don't use money to advertise their channels with Google and all stuff like that with YouTube, because it's cheap now. But they have found ways to put precautions where they're going to type to a way where I'm not going to allow any small person or person that's been on my platform for over a decade to put their shit back on here. I'm only going to focus on people that is already paid and bought through the system, i.e. celebrity, i.e. Kwame Brown, or any of these artists. And I'm always throwing names because, let's be honest, George Mickens called us out for a while. I said, we have to be very careful now that they're using celebrities now to push the same talking points that's been said by other content creators, whether small, medium, or large, because they got to shift the narrative of what's really going on here. People are more gravitated to people that's already known on television, entertainment, sports.
Well, I seen that too. What I seen though too was with the main thing, what I saw, which they can do shadow shit where you can't see it, but we shadow did our investigation on the subscription chaos. We already know how the dirty games that they play. But
even the subscriber is a questionable thing that, sometimes you feel that you gain and you're losing, and I'm not sure if they remove it, because they're not supposed to be automatically remove people's subscribers.
Right. And the thing where they fucked up was when I noticed the organic viralness of the regular ecosystem, the VE, the Victor Echo, if you will, you know what I'm saying, would normally be okay. The ecosystem of the viewers is whatever is banging, no matter what it is, as long as it ain't, some pornography or something too fucked up, it can get into trending on the top. It would be like the top 100 YouTube videos and it'd be ranked, right? So Now, I heard old dude Mark Dice was talking about it, and he made a good point. He was on the radio on the show. I was like, he said basically now they just select on the trending page. You can just copy and paste who you want to get that viralness to. That way they're curating it now. Back in the days, it was just based on views, engagement, watch time. Who was the hottest in that category? Top 100 people, no matter small, big, corporate related, uncorporate related, ad, affiliates, network, did not matter. It was just on who was the hottest 100 videos. When they changed that, there was a message from on high to start curating everything, and that was then. Now I think they're at like a beta level of it, and they're getting ready to deploy the full thing because the algorithm is set so good now where they can just put you in the hellhole of no views, no subscribers, but then they'll start unsubscribing, playing dirty games now, playing dirty pool, unsubscribing people who have subscribed. That's dirty pool. And if they're doing that to you, usually you would think that those people aren't part of the corporation. So that's why I would think that like Kwame wouldn't be a part of it because he's getting the same thing. Imagine if one of us got 400,000 subscribers in 30 to 60 days. What would happen? You know what I'm saying? We probably would never get that because they got the full bearing on our neck. Well, if you get like, let's say 10,000, 30, 40,000 subscribers, they want to hit you. They unsubscribe half of your user base. How many of those users will you be able to retain after that don't even know that they unsubscribed, number one, and then they stop feeding you their videos in the algorithm, your videos to them in the algorithm, and then eventually once they find out that they're not subscribed anymore, they have to actually physically go back and search for your name, and it's weird.
Well, there are precautions to mitigate those type of situations if they do arrive, which they have. I'll take a playbook from Angel Ramirez. One thing what he's done to build his audience, knowing he was losing either subscribers or wherever situation, you lose a channel or be on what we call a YouTube suspension. He has used social media to the point where no matter what he does, he posts his content and lets people know where they could link into his YouTube channel again. And I think what we are not doing well as content creators, whether we're small or pretty big, we are not using social media to the full advantage to the real people that like the content, our content. And one thing I've done, and it's still a work in progress, I have spread myself a little more better than I did a year and a half ago. What I mean
hopefully
by
not too thin though.
No, well, not too thin. One of the things now, as you know, I have Facebook now for this channel. And Facebook, you could only hold with just a regular Facebook account, depending if you do something special. You could hold roughly close to 5K people if they all add you as friend. Now, out of that branch, you're hoping out of the people that add you as friend will also subscribe to your YouTube channel. That's what the whole focus. I remember when Kev said his best when he created Black Men Being Brutally Honest. He has over, I think, thousands of people following his page on Facebook, but it has not transitioned from Facebook to YouTube. And the reason why it never transitioned because you do not, the people that follow you from one platform to another are your actual audience, your true friends. Unfortunately, those that sit there like it, they watch it, but will not transition any further than what the platform they're on if they entertain that social media platform like a Facebook. So for most of that's doing content, you have to spread yourself out very well and hope, and I say hope, that the people that are friends on you on other social media platforms are able to really keep an eye out your activities. So if anything happens, for the sake of conversation, something happens to your channel on YouTube, you're able to build that audience back up gradually, slowly but surely, without no problem trying to rebuild itself that took you a year or two, depending on how much you lose the channel or suspend it or whatever case may be. You don't have to worry about it because people that really rock with you and know you're on other social media platforms that you put out the content, they know, say, come over here, I'm live now, I'm uploading. They will transition and follow you over there. And that's where the best precaution any person could take moving forward. Now, I never told this with, on the other YouTube channel, like TLA, and that's fine. What he's doing a good thing. But if I tell people, and my thing is this, I'm going to tell y'all guys this: not everybody could start a YouTube channel and make money on here. Now, I'm just going to tell y'all personally, and the reason why I say because those days to make actual income on here and build audience have gone. If you started doing this 3 years ago and push hard, you will be in a safety net right now. But after 2019, if you're not doing some, or you have another set of groups of men or people that you could trust that put you on their channels to help bring your notoriety up, you're going to be struggling trying to build from a couple hundred to 1,000 and 10,000 something in less than a couple months on YouTube now. With all the helps of the algorithm now, because like Shara said, now the algorithm is set up now where depending what content you put on here, and if you're not doing content to their liking, they will start messing around with your numbers, who's watching, and they can even go as far as subscribe people what your notes. Case in point. Yeah, all right. I see Aaron Constant come up here. It's good.
Yeah, you was live, bro.
Let me say this. Okay, case in point. I subscribe to Shatter on this channel, and maybe you might resubscribe to my channel. What YouTube does now, and we're two content creators. If I hit subscribe on your channel right now, it will unsubscribe you on my channel, Shatter, and they're not supposed to do that.
You know what?
Oh, they put it on the back end.
Yeah. There you go.
Chaos,
so you know what? I had to use another channel to subscribe you from there. If I do it here, they will unsubscribe because what they have to do now, they don't want other people that's close. Because they say we're supposed to build ourselves up because they how to build your channel, you work with other people. Mm-hmm. So why are you penalizing people that subscribe to each other that you bounce off, say unsubscribing? Because no one's going to have the time to go unsubscribe unless they don't like you. Yeah.
What's crazy is something just as recent as this stream, might I add. Mm-hmm. Okay, since we on the damn subject, you had sent me the message showing that you was gonna put up one live, right? By the time I drove home, I got on YouTube. I just clicked my shit. Normally, if someone's live, it'll have their name up in the left corner with a red broadcasting thing on there. You can see it, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, well, maybe he just started it. So let me go to your page. So I had to search, go to your page. I'm like, damn, my notifications on. Am I still subscribed? It says subscribe, notifications on. But then I had to go to videos to see the live stream. Normally it would come up on your page on the home menu where it would say, it would say it there. It would say live, but I had to go into the videos or uploads or whatever. And then it was live there. And then when I got on and I seen the time streaming, it was 48 minutes. So that means they suppressed your live widget on my page, yet I'm subscribed with notifications, yet everyone else that's live, their shit is showing.
Now, let me ask a question.
That was weird.
You hit the top bell?
Yes, it's on all notifications.
Okay. One thing, what YouTube also does with the algorithm, and I'm going to let you talk, Wolf, sorry I cut you, is if no one's liking the video as I start, depending on my subscriber count and the audience itself, it's not going to show that I'm live present on your desktop or your laptop. I'm not sure the cell phone, because cell phone's a little funny, but if you're on the computer, it will not show most likely that I'm live on the side or right there in the menu, because not enough people are liking the video.
Gotcha.
And that's why they always push people to always hit the like button, because it lets algorithm know that I am live for other people. If I, let's say, have like 5 people here, I should get at least 5 likes or 4 likes and 1 dislike. Engagement is very important, how the algorithm functions, so everybody can see me live. That's why we look at people that if you're not subscribed high, let me tell you that. If you subscribe to a regular content creator and you, let's say you hit the middle bell, it will let you know if that person is live or not. But to really feed the algorithm, so if you're watching YouTube through your computer, it will let you know that this person is live automatically, because their more than 30 or where people watching or more that's hitting the like button, that means you're getting over 50% or 100% engagement off the bat. So the more people that comes in hit the like button, the more that the algorithm has to grant me the eyeballs necessary to put me on to the side piece of the YouTube desktop. You get me? When less people don't like it and you're not a subscriber, they won't know I don't exist. Now, if they're subscribed right in the middle or top, they can still fuck with me because as I'm live and people notice I'm live, unless they click on it and watch my video and hit the like button, they won't know I'm present. That's how they work, their algorithm. That's how they let know that someone's live and people can engage. That's why a lot of content has been emphasized. A lot of people not don't emphasize enough on my channel. That says you come and please the like button. I sometimes tell people this occasionally sometimes, but they know saying the more you hit the like or dislike, you're feeding the algorithm to let you know say I'm live and present, and those that either subscribe or going to be a subscriber, they know I'm here. It's just like last year when I talked about the thing with Kevin Samuel's situation with average at best. When a few countries saw me on the algorithm is because I had over 12 or 15 people hitting the like button. So what they did, they saw it, they add me in their community tab, and eventually everybody started coming to the comment section because people are hitting the like button and slowly watching the content. So the engagement is official. Where now say I'm live and present. People that want to watch, okay. People don't, that's fine. But they know that I'm live throughout the whole YouTube platform. You get me? That's how the shit works. So anytime you're doing live streams, you have to make sure people are engaged by hitting the like button or dislike. They can't just go in there and just watch and don't hit nothing. You do that, you tell the algorithm that this content should not be watched, so I'm not gonna feed it to anybody else's device. You know,
Right.
That's why you see KS always emphasize I'm gonna call intermission if you're not getting my likes, because he knows the importance of engagement. Without that, people are not gonna know that he's present. That's why he gone from 50K to over 1 million in less than over a year, because
he understood he studied the algorithm, the nature of the algorithm and everything, and understood how to manipulate.
There you go. So everybody knows you have, especially the more people you have, you got to have 50% of engagement. Over 50%.
One thing also consider.
Yeah.
One thing I have to also consider is like we chatted about as being shadow banned or being like suspectedly unsubscribed to certain channels. I think that's only applies for you guys because I'm in Europe. I'm in Europe, and in Europe they have strict online. They have strict internet restriction. They have strict laws on the internet. So YouTube, if they want to continue to use to be able to broadcast in Europe, they had to like put up. They have to also respect certain laws that protect subscribe viewers and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
but
they can't just
also
content creators and everything. So a lot of people kind of like protected that way.
But then you're right. And see, now that's the double-edged sword on that, because now
everything's a double-edged sword. So please explain. Shattered.
In Great Britain, right, the free speech, they don't have it like we have here. So they can come to your house if you say something bad on Facebook and arrest you for hate speech, basically. So motherfuckers already is tuned down what they gonna say over there. But then they give you, okay, well, we ain't gonna let you, but we gonna let them fuck with you. We got different laws on that. But then they coercing the rest, because like, all right, if you do say something we don't like, we can actually arrest you.
Of course, now they're like talking like in buzzwords and dog whistles and shit, so they know how to sidestep that shit as well.
And that's how they tamp us, though. That's how they tamp us, since they can't physically stop our speech. Then they just, they in control. We'll just silence them electronically. You see what I mean?
And the people that are really talking some serious shit, they're trying to silence them. But the ones who are going on spewing just nonsense, they're letting them online because.
It's a distraction, man. At the end of the day, Wolf.
Not just as a distraction. They're useful idiots or as tools, because they're spreading the nonsense. It's like to use a rap song, "Dumb It Down." You guys familiar with that song, "Dumb It Down" by Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah, I remember that. I think I remember that song.
Dumb it down, just dumb everybody down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, the name of the game is distraction. Entertainment is another form of dumbing people down. intellectually,
distraction and everything. Yeah, absolutely.
because the more you're aware, the more you take some action. Hopefully, and mostly 9% of the population don't take action when they find things that's going around in the system. They mostly are very complacent. It's probably less than half will take action, and that's where they want the ones that's a lesser percentage than the majority, because you don't get 90 or 100% of anything. You only get a very small portion of people taking real action to things that's being systematically done against them in the society. So my thing overall is that there are ways to get around those type of precautionary things. If let's say the day comes when they do things like that to slow your channel or frustrate you, I don't tell people many times a day. I know they listen to more better content creators or famous content creators like them, like the one I mentioned, to create YouTube channel to make some money. And I'm not knocking people if you make the money, but the problem is to really make money here now at this present day, you have to bring something new to the market that has not been seen, and you have to promote yourself very well to get the numbers and eventually hopefully get viral. You can't do the same thing like everybody else doing, because it's not popular and you're not gonna make a lot of money, like that. Because last time I checked, they said to get $1, you have to have 1,000 views to get $1 if you're monetized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on average.
On average. So that tells me if you're doing content, you barely crack 1,000, or you might crack 1,000. That's $1. That's not money. Now, if they were getting $5 for 1,000 views, now we're talking about something. But $1 for 1,000 to really make some serious money, you're better off doing super chats and doing live streams. You get me? At least you make some out of that. But all this monetization and all that crap, there's some. Even the monetization is kind of robbery in itself, because now they're taking more than 30% out of a super chat. So, like I said, you gotta really position yourself, market your
also
brand.
Get like Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Market yourself very well to make something residual after doing content a month in YouTube. You're going to be to see what you can make in return, what you could deal with, what's the max you could try to profit. And then you're not going to make much, but if you could profit something a little better, is a start. But you can't depend on your whole livelihood on this. Now, you get me? Because let's be fair, honest, that's not no fucking money. A lot of people say that even people that are able to make 20 grand a month if they can't doing content on YouTube, that's actually money. Because that's like, we look at a small business, mostly you have to try to draw in over 25K. I wish
Alonzo was here, because he would really bring a different perspective into this.
Alonzo sometimes is around. He's around. Yeah. He's around.
Man, he didn't have to be so high. Chaos. He didn't have to be so high. Damn, you scared me. Shit. Oh, yeah. Little jumpy. Don't get me jumpy like that.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Anyway, my point was because I remember while I was on Alonzo's hangout one time, it was pretty cool, just me and him just going back and forth, talking about business, their expect and whatnot. But my thing is when you said if you can get 20 grand a month, my question is, what are the costs? What are the costs? Because you got to look at the cost benefits of this shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know cost benefits, especially if you're doing this shit, how much time you put contributing to it. And is that 20 grand per month worth the effort in the long term? Because this can be a little taxing to a lot of people. Some people get burned out doing this shit. I mean, take podcasting for example, or certain YouTube channels I can think of. A lot of them have partnered with certain apps, like apps like mobile gaming apps, for example.
Okay.
And they say for anybody who clicks the link, they get certain benefits as a result. Or in the case of YouTube channels, a lot of them, they send out, they mention who the sponsors for that particular episode is, and they provide them promo codes and whatnot to get a sweet deal on those products. I mean, I get to see certain companies really get involved in that stuff. I guess there's certain things, certain lifestyle things regarding certain lifestyles, I'm sure they only sponsor for certain types of podcasts of that nature, so to speak. But getting that kind of like revenue and trying to like network with other core companies, that can like, you know, that can just draw more eyeballs or more ears to your content, and that's one way to grow your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of views, man. You know, in comparison to some of my bigger videos when I was actually curating my shit and doing like multiple vids a day in the same format, I was noticing a lot of international vids. I was touching a lot of international people. A lot. Great Britain was one. A little bit from France, but mostly Great Britain, Germany, Australia, some Philippines people, some Japan people actually too. And then, you know, of course, the United States is the bare share of what I'd get. But I was noticing on some of those videos, I was getting that international exposure. And a lot of it is usually curated to a certain particular game or whatever on the gaming channel. So it would be more of the walkthrough, step by step time kind of strategies that you can use for the game, this, that, and the other that maybe someone else didn't have. So I guess they distributed that shit, you know, better. But as of now, after the apocalypse and the alleged shadow banning, most of the views that come are usually organic, and they're usually 99% US side.
Can I ask you a question? And Shattered,
Yeah, go for it.
if you can hear me, okay. You know, we're talking about like streaming apps and whatnot and multimedia. Have we forgotten to mention there used to be Mixer, there's still Steam,
Right.
and there's also Twitch. Where do they fit in all this? And let's
I
not
had
forget,
a Twitch account. I still got it. I need to redo it. Twitch, they've changed their model up quite substantially since I've been there trying to get monetized. So I'm not sure exactly how it is now, but I know that when I was trying to get monetized, the subscribers meant different on Twitch. So subscriber is like a member, so to speak, and then you follow or you love the content is like a subscription.
yeah,
Okay, so it's
kind
different.
of like
So I think
similar to
to
like
get
Facebook and such shit. Yeah,
to get the
yeah, I talk
money,
over two people.
you
It's my
need it.
mistake.
No, you good, bro. I know how to do a conversation. I understand what you're saying. Well, on the subscription model, I think they were like, I think 400. It was like 400 or 500 subscribers, and then it was like you had to hold 100 concurrent viewers for like 3 days out of the week or some shit, and then they would allow you
That's
to
a
become a
tall order.
partner, a Twitch partner. It's very hard to do, but if on certain games, since they do it on games,
Because I
you know, you can get
know,
it.
like, what is it like? Because you know, I grew up watching pro wrestling. I know, was it a couple of wrestling promotions? They use Twitch to free to air some of their pay-per-view events, and they use that, and that's how they get more viewers and bring more new, you know, maintain their core audience, but also bring in new eyeballs and whatnot to the shows. And through Twitch, they can, you know, it's like more of a partnership. I guess Twitch gets like a
Right, the Twitch partner. That's when you get in the Twitch partner program.
But what is ad revenue? But does Twitch still have like the ad revenue, or is the ad apocalypse also affected them? Because
You
the
get
problem
ad
was, I
revenue,
remember,
but they want you to get that partner. They want 100 concurrent viewers throughout that week, and then they want a certain amount of subscribers. Now, if you just get viral all of a sudden and people just love your shit, and you've been there for a minute, you know, they may make a concession here or there, or they'll feed your shit enough to where you'll make it to, you know, if people like it, people like it. But just as far as like, the apocalypse affected them to a lesser extent. YouTube had more creators per capita, so they just blanketed everyone with the 1,000 subscribers and was it 5,000 watch hours? Chaos, what is it?
No, on YouTube is 4,000 watch time.
okay, Because my thing is like this, because because since we're talking about, you know, content creators and whatnot, let's not also forget the rise and fall of the E-Shill, aka the E-Thoughts. First, they were on YouTube, and they were making money through Patreon and PayPal and Cash App, and then they had to relocate to Twitch and other streaming services like that, because, you know, YouTube started, you know, clamping down on them because a lot of them were getting a little too, you know what? Although a lot of them were also pushing products, especially the big channels. They were pushing They were like, you know, product placements and everything. There was how they made most of their money, but they're also getting like a lot of their money through donations on the PayPal and Patreon.
Okay.
Because, you know, a lot of them were just putting out some cleavage and whatnot. You know, we're talking E-Thoughts here. And then from there, they relocated to of course, we now saw the rise and fall of OnlyFans.
Well, it's still present now, Wolf, because they kind of
but they clamping it down now. They're clamping it down. So it's like more like a flash in the pan.
They still can do
but
porn.
not like
They just
used
want
to.
They want to get to the end of the calendar year because they see what money they bringing in on these people doing this shit. Then Chase Bank was like, hold on. So if we cut that off, that's gonna cut off what, 75% of y'all fucking worth and valuation? No, let's wait till the end of the year.
Shit.
And listen, and what I tells you, Shatter, that when people look at the website OnlyFans, the first thing that comes to mind is porn. And people say that these women are not doing shit like that, but majority of your revenue is made off of porn, because that was the biggest issue why the banks had to step in and say we cannot keep supporting your platform through credit card and stuff, because our name is attached to your business practice. When people
we don't want to get our name stolen. You got to protect your brand name.
There you go.
Your brand, your name is an intangible value, because a company's brand name is an intangible value. Your reputation is also associated with that.
Right. And they need brand ambassadors. You need a brand ambassador. So if you just said, who was OnlyFans brand ambassador, you wouldn't think of some run-of-the-mill celebrity. You would think of porn actresses.
Yeah.
You know, that's always, you know, I've always wanted to ask this question, but I guess I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot for saying this, but certain product placements need to be on certain podcasts. For example, contraceptives.
Okay.
If y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Trojan having an ad into, you know, sponsoring a certain podcast and whatnot. Could you imagine Joe Rogan doing a spot for Trojan on his shows?
Yeah, the boy shilling for those Trojans. That'd be funny as hell. You know they'd make a big fucking joke out of it though, and it actually would be cool because Joe Rogan could do that easily. I'm sure he gets product placement ads all the time, but since he's so big,
I can mention. I know plenty there, because over the years, what was it like? There used to be the Dollar Shave Club. There was Bet Kings. What's the name of that one store? Was it Bet Kings?
Dollar Shave Club.
Dollar Shave Club. Me Undies.
Stupid game. What is this shit called?
What do you mean?
A fucking mobile game that everybody puts in their shit.
UFC. No. I think no. There was one. There was what is it called? Fantasy football. Yeah, fantasy football, fantasy baseball, and they had fantasy UFC or fantasy MMA at one time.
Oh yeah, DraftKings.
DraftKings, yes, DraftKings.
And I still remember that promotional
Dollar Shave. I remember they got co-op.
But that speaks to the promotional placements of those. We're here on Chaos Extreme, and we still remember those ads. You see, and that's what they know. You know
what other ads I remember?
Which one?
I'll give you another example. I play both Mortal Kombat and Injustice, and I have the mobile app versions of those games because there's like, if you connect them with your console, you get like daily boot. You get daily bonuses for login and shit.
Yeah, they call
But
it like
in
the
both
cross
on the
platform.
mobile app for both of them,
Yeah.
you can like extra
Yeah,
credits for like viewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, cross-platform. But on the mobile apps, you can get extra bonuses for viewing a certain number of ads per day.
Right, you get
But
credit
those
for
were
that, and
mostly ads
even a
for
click.
certain apps or for certain mobile games.
Sometimes a click. If
Yeah.
you hit a click, if you click
But
this
not just
one
that.
thing,
But not just
it'll
that. But
give
not
you
just
free
that.
gold in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not just that. If you have UFC EA Sports UFC 3 up until like last year, you would get for clicking on whether you had it on PS4 or Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
If you went to one section by right on the mini screen, where right next to the Ultimate Team, they had like these ads. One was for Black Lives Matter. I remember they saw that. This was like 2020. But there was also a bunch of other ads you can click on. You watch the ads. One was for Dollar Shave. I remember one with John Cena and the Infinity Boost cow. There was another one for some other products. And for each time you watch the ad, you get like certain coins you can spend on My Ultimate Team.
Okay.
Right,
So that's
and
what I'm
see,
thinking.
all right, here we go with that. And see, look, you brought up a good point, man. And that is a microtransaction that is completely out of this world that you just exposed. And this is the shit that I don't like about the new gaming ecosphere, because now they have taken a lot of these good producers and good uh, franchises have taken their likeness of their game and lended it to the mobile game. I'm not speaking on like the
EA
cross-platform,
Sports, for
the
example.
companion, the
EA
companion
Sports
apps.
is fucked up for microtransaction, but yeah.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Electronic Arts. Yes, they're the number one. That's who I'm speaking of mostly, and I can speak to that because I see how they did it. They actually got in a lawsuit in it because I think the new Call of Duty or it was Star Wars. Star Wars was the most egregious. I think it was
Star Wars Battlefield, because it's Star
Battlefront or
Wars and
whatever.
also Battlefield because
Battlefront.
Call of Duty is owned by Blizzard Activision, different company.
So basically, what they did was with the Battlefront or whatever, with the
Yeah,
Star Wars, what they did was
Star Wars Battlefront.
they had it where it's pay to win. So a pay to win game is where you can physically buy weapons and access to characters that are probably overpowered in the weapons the same way. And the person that's playing against you, if they just bought the game regularly, they would, even if they grinded the game, for 60 hours, they probably would never get that. So you would you couldn't just buy it like that. So what it did was it made like a random number generator, okay, to where it's a chance now that you can get this particular gun, but it's a chance. So, it's ultra rare. So ultra rare in their algorithm may be like one out of 500 purchases would get this, maybe 200 or whatever. So in order, even if you were buying it all, it would cost so much money. There's no guarantee that you'll get it. So the lawyers sued them, and they made it so where they said, because parents, these kids will get these people's
Their children with severe
parents,
addictions. I mean,
yeah,
I'll give you a couple examples because I'll give you an example, El Shattered, because you're talking about Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
Wait.
They also said this with Battle. Oh,
wait. I have to do this. This will conclude tonight's After Hour edition, people. If you're new to the channel, please hit the red button and top bell. And I know y'all want to hear more, but that I'm gonna leave for the next After edition. You see. But anyway, to follow me, Chaos Rain, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7, and don't forget to add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain. And like always, be on the lookout for other streams. And I have a lineup of some streams, so be on the lookout. If you want to know that the uploads and live streams, make sure that top bell is hit hard, so when chaos is live. So till next time. The chaos reigns.